everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, dude. I wish
What's
you would have dropped it.
happening?
Huh?
What's going on?
Dude, another day hanging out, going live with you. It's been a week. It's great.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Good to be back. I really enjoy these. So, hey, we're here. Just want to say
We're
what's
here.
up.
We're going.
Yeah. Today we are going to talk about parenting in sobriety a little bit later down the
I
road.
love it.
So
Love
stay
it.
tuned. Yeah, man. And then for those of you that stick around, I will give you a link so that you can get a copy of the Sober Dad's Playbook for free. So
Hell
there you
yeah.
go. There's the bait for you guys to stick around.
Love it.
Yeah, man. I'm all about them giveaways, you know. Audiences like it. They're tuning in because they want something. They need some help with something. So let's drop some knowledge. So
how's everybody doing? Let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're from, what's going on this week.
Yep. Let us know what's
Show some
going
love.
on. Yeah. We want to hear about some victories or, you know, some sort of valleys you might be going through. You know, let us know what your life looks like. So who are you and why are we here?
Well, welcome to Dylan and the Doc.
Hi.
I'm the Doc. I'm Dr. Ryan. I am founder of the Relationship Hub and also founder of Resurgence. I take guys from being really unstable, not confident. They've gone through a breakup, separation, divorce, and I give them the tools to move forward and stop living lives of quiet desperation. Start living their life to the fullest. It's a super cool program. I can give more information out towards the end and let people know how to get a hold of me on that. We are launching it. It'll be going live November 7th. Sign up ends November 6th, and I'm only taking 10 men on who want to reshape their entire lives. So that's what I do, and that's where we're going with that.
That's what's up. One thing I want us to talk about the quiet desperation, like specifically men. I think that would be an interesting topic. Yeah. So without getting completely lost in that I just opened up, I'm Dylan. I am a professional recovery coach. I help you leave the life that you're living where you're stuck in a rut, drinking booze. You're not showing up for your wife. You're not showing up for your kids. You're maybe showing up to work. You're probably showing up to work, but are you really showing up? You know what I mean? So I help you get your habits under control. I help you design a life beyond the drink, because it's not about quitting drinking. It's about your life beyond the drink. So
that's it. Designing the life.
That's it. I mean, I dug into it, and it's like, I didn't stay sober from meetings. I didn't stay sober from having a therapist. I didn't stay sober from detoxes, rehabs, hospital visits. I didn't stay sober when it almost killed me, right? I was able to stay sober because eventually I built a life built on some principles, like values and stuff. And that's it. So I hook you up with years of experience and that I both paid for and learned and earned and all that stuff, and help you get where you need to go, want to go, should go.
100%.
Everyone should go. So there you go, man. So like you said, we're Dylan and the Doc. We talk relationships. We talk recovery, sobriety, whatever you want to call it. Let's not mince words here. We're talking about not drinking booze or doing drugs and having healthy relationships with others and ourselves, right? Is that where we're at today?
Yeah. Becoming the best possible version of yourself you could ever dream of. That is the end goal and the name of the game.
Yep. Apex yourself. You'll apex everything else, right? Like that's
100%. Yeah.
So I just want to say this real quick because we got some folks in here. What's up, Jess? Thank you for being here. Love seeing you. And hey there, Darren. Nice to see both of you here. If we have any questions from the audience, drop them in the comments. Like we said earlier, we'd love to hear about some of your wins or some of your losses. I mean, that's valuable information. Both of those things have consequences that we can learn from, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Wins and losses are both valuable to us. Otherwise, let's take it away until we get some questions and have somebody that wants to let us know what they're up to. What do you think?
Yeah. And one of the, like, you hit on something right there, wins and losses. I want people to know it takes some losses to get some wins. Like you have to embody those losses. That's where you learn.
Damn
it's not just winning all the time and trying and winning. Man, you
Dude.
go through some fucking losses along the way, but that's where the growth is, and the wins come directly after that if you don't quit.
You know, DJ Khaled said all I do is win, win, win. So I don't know if you're right or if you're wrong, who's right or wrong, but I agree with you.
That dude's lost.
Right? No, I think that you're spot on there. Like, I failed so many times in order to start to win. Like that's just a reality. It's not that anyone's a loser, but people that are not winning, right? Losers. I don't want to. It's hard to say people that are losers without people thinking I'm being rude. I'm not trying to be rude. People that just aren't winning, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it's a mindset thing, like, or they don't even try. That's the biggest loss you can have. Like you hit a wall and you don't try to go around it, through it, over it, under it, or anything like that. You just like stop, turn around. That is the biggest loss you will ever have, because there's no winning after that, right?
100%, man. I remember being a kid when you were saying that, and I remember telling my mom, I'm just constantly waiting for the next foot to drop, the next shoe, the next thing to happen, because things just went. It was a revolving door of shit that I was in. But it was my mindset, and it was my actions, and it was me not learning from my mistakes. And it wasn't until I switched that mindset to learn from those mistakes and to be in a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset that I started growing. And I mean, it was that change that took me from being hopelessly addicted dude, living on the streets, just being a complete waste piece of shit, to getting my life together, going back to school.
You have a PhD now.
getting my doctorate, owning multiple businesses. It took me changing that mindset and the steps that you take to be able to do that, because it was a mindset thing. It's not that, oh, bad things just happen to me. Bad things happened because of me. Like that was the end thing.
Dude, it's all choices. Like, I got into it, and when I say into it, guys, like, I don't argue with people. Like, I just don't. I don't have time for it. I don't have patience for it. Like, if you think you know the thing, then know the thing over with your group that knows that you know the thing, and like, we just won't agree, and that's fine. But there's this person that was trying to tell me that, like, we're responsible for our sobriety, but we're not responsible for our addiction. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're responsible for both, because they were like, I didn't choose to get addicted. It's like,
yeah, you did.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, and this is coming from an addict, right? Like, I drank heavily for years. I dabbled in other stuff. Like, I made choices. I made all those choices. Like, I told myself multiple times, I won't be like that person. Like, we create this, like, they call it terminal uniqueness. Like, I am somehow better or different than everyone around me. Therefore, I'm untouchable when it comes to that. And it's bullshit, right? So it's like, that's the biggest thing in my program. Like, one of the biggest foundations is like, no excuses, no bullshit, man. Like, as nicely as possible. Like, I'm not going to be rude to you about it, but it's like, I don't want to hear it, because it's not going to get you where you want to go. And I know you want results. So I'm not doing you a favor. You're not doing you a favor. If we're sitting here like pandering to each other about this bullshit you're trying to spin, dude, like, nah. Like,
no, when you go through a program like Minor Years, it is our job to strip you of all excuses, because it's the excuses that got you into trouble. And until you recognize that, and you have someone holding you accountable saying, that's bullshit, that's an excuse. Taking accountability for your actions. Like, everybody that's going through a breakup or a divorce or a separation, all these guys, they keep saying, oh, it's, she did this, she did that.
Yeah.
You know, you got to step back and say, what did I do to harm the relationship? Because you took part in it. And you have to strip those excuses. Man. Yeah, you have to become accountable and stop with the BS excuses. Like, that is what is killing men today, are these excuses that they have. And there just comes a point when you're a coach that you have to call them out on those excuses and be like, no,
Amen.
no more. Enough is enough. It's time to get down to the brass tacks and take accountability for what actually happened. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It's not going to feel good, but you're going to grow from it.
Amen. Amen. Let's put a carrot in that for just a second because I got some things, but I don't want to let this slide, dude.
Okay.
6 months, dude. This is a big deal right here. You know, someone's been sober for half a year now. I don't know how long you were bouncing back and forth in addiction, but hey, 6 months is a huge deal. I don't care, even if you're only addicted for a week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to miss out on that. But no, dude, you're 100% right because like it's your job as a coach to call people on their shit. Like that's why people hire you is to give them another perspective and help them achieve new perspectives. So if I just sat there and like, yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like what am I doing? Like taking your money? Like that ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. Like I'm there to hold you accountable and there to, you know, provide creative solutions to the problem, not just like quit screwing up, you know, like doesn't work that way. That probably about 10 years. Yeah, tried to get sober for 3 years. That's that we were just talking about failing and then winning, you know. You're going to lose some before you win. Like that's exactly what that looks like, you know. That's to me what relapse as a part of recovery looks like. And people don't talk about that. Like the relapses are that 3 years. That 3 years of trying to get sober and not being able to do it, you know? That's it. That's losing over and over and over, getting back up until you win. Until you discover the right tools or the right mindset to continue to make the right choices, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So what do you think about, so we're talking about really a lot of this is kind of like grit and discipline in a way, you know, continuing to get up, continuing to fail forward, as they like to say, right? What does that look like in like a leadership role? Because, and I bring that up because I think we should all aspire to be leaders. Is that fair?
It is. And you're failing. Yeah, you should all aspire to be leaders. I teach men how to be leaders in their own life, in their relationship.
Yeah.
The thing with failing, when you fail, you have to acknowledge that you failed. And you also have to acknowledge that you don't have all the answers all the time. It is a constant learning opportunity. And I said this to one of my clients who comes in one-on-one. I was like, there is an opportunity in everything. And we said this early on. I've been seeing him for a year now. And it becomes second nature to start thinking about where is the opportunity in this, whether it's with your wife or girlfriend, or whether it's with an employee or an employer. Where is the opportunity? And I wish more people would seek out opportunities in everything they do, because that's where the growth is. So I'm trying to think of, I don't want to give his stuff out because that's just not cool.
Fair.
But
well, I mean, you can't even
like an opportunity in,
right?
Yeah, like the opportunity. You tried to get sober for 3 years, right?
Okay.
There has to be an opportunity in there somewhere. And for all those years, you never sought out the opportunity. What, and we talked about this a little bit last time. What's the opportunity in not having a drink tonight? Well, there's an opportunity to go home and connect with my wife. There's an opportunity to go play with my kids. There's an opportunity to take that money and take them to a movie or take them to a fair or there's an opportunity in everything. And once you start seeing opportunities, even in your struggles, because opportunities are hidden everywhere. Until you see that, you're not going to start growing.
Totally. And I think a lot of that has to do with that taking accountability, like you're talking about. Like, if I mean, I could have 100% not held myself accountable for what I'd done to my relationships in my life, in my drinking. Like, newsflash, folks, like that's where most of the motivation for me to get sober came from, was from taking accountability for the mess I had made and going like, okay, I don't want this. Like, maybe I won't repair this mess, but I don't want this mess ever again. Right.
Yeah.
So I start taking the action, making the choices to improve my life, taking accountability and seeing the opportunities. So I didn't see, I was in the middle of a divorce. I didn't see that as a defeat. I saw it as an opportunity to improve myself for my future partner, whether that was her or anybody else, period.
Yeah.
It didn't matter at that point. I'd already been like, whatever. But it wasn't a loss. It was a chance to, you know, become a better version of myself in the future. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that opportunity. If you let that opportunity slide by, that better version of yourself is going to slide by as well.
Wouldn't be here right now, dude.
No, you have to seek out those opportunities for growth, or you're never going to grow. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. What do they say? Luck is where preparation meets the opportunity.
100%. Yes.
You know, I mean, some of us see more opportunities than others, like sure, luck, whatever. But at the end of the day, no matter how lucky you are, no matter how many opportunities you have, if you're not prepared to handle that opportunity, it doesn't even matter. You know, like right information, wrong situation, right information doesn't solve anything for anybody, right?
Yeah. If you're not training your mind to seek out opportunities, you're never going to see them out in public or in business. You have to train yourself to search those things out, or those opportunities. They aren't obvious to you when they're out there and you miss them.
Yeah. 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 No, I'm with you 100%. And that's the mindset thing. Like, are your eyes open to opportunities or not?
Yeah.
And if you're not being radically accountable, you're missing half of the field, right? Like,
Yeah.
Because you're only seeing, like, usually if you're not being accountable, like everything is a loss, and you're not probably stacking wins. Like if you're in that mindset, you're probably not chalking up very many wins. That's just the reality.
Yeah, nothing will hold you back more than a fixed mindset. I just want to put that out there for everybody. Nothing in this world will hold you back more than a fixed mindset, meaning I can't grow, I can't change, I have bad luck.
Yeah.
All these things we tell ourselves. A, you're talking to yourself really shitty, and that stuff's going to happen to you if you keep talking to yourself that way. And B, you're not seeking out opportunities for growth.
Totally. Well, and it's like time keeps on moving into the future. Hey, had to do that. But you know, because time's moving, if you're fixed, if you're holding still, you're actually moving backwards.
Yeah.
Like that's it took me a lot of years to like truly wrap my head around that. But it's like no one's really ahead of you in life, behind you in life. You're ahead or behind of where you want to be, where you want to go. And if you're holding still, you are just losing ground. Like that's it. You only have so many minutes, man. Seize them, take care of them, and make use of them. Because I don't know. I can always make more money. I cannot make more time. I have not figured out how to make more time. If you figure it out, you let me know. Because that's what I want to buy these days is time. I don't care about anything else. You know, keep your house, keep your car, dude. I want more time with my wife, my kids, and all that stuff. So
give us a growth in the comments if you're committed to achieving a growth mindset. Just let us know that you're going to start looking for opportunities.
Yeah. Well, how about let us know one area in your life where you want to grow right now, like where it's important for you to grow at this point. While we wait on that, I'm going to throw this up real quick because this is exactly what we've been talking about. You know, Jess says that she found accountability to be the most important part this time around, and she just talked about, you know, how she's hit 6 months. That's truly it. Like, I actually made a Facebook story about this today. It's like, if you spent half as much energy on coming up with excuses to stay sober as you do on drinking,
Yeah.
you'd be sober. Like it's truly that simple. Like being a drunk is freaking exhausting,
Mm-hmm.
like plotting and scheming how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, what you're going to do, recovering, doing it,
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah, they're smashing some of those excuses we were talking about. Like you have the time.
Yes.
You have the time.
You do.
And you have the willpower, by the way, because if you have the willpower to get up and go to work with a nasty hangover every day, you can get sober. Like just
Yeah.
saying that, you know.
We did like a life audit last week, but also do a time audit. And we talked about that. If you
Yeah.
say you don't have time, I'm going to call BS on you every single time you say that. Because if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, like we talked about, you still have 16 hours in the day. And I guarantee you those 16 hours are not all taken up.
Yeah. No judgment here. Don't at me in the comments. I don't give a shit what you think about this, but my screen, I've been actively focusing on focusing, right? So it's like I have a thing on my computer where it will just stops all notifications. I put my phone into airplane mode. I have it scheduled in my calendar as airplane mode. Okay.
Uh-huh.
During that time, I don't do anything except the thing I'm doing, which is currently writing. Okay. So my screen time last week was down 90% from the week before that. Last week is when I really hardcore it was firm with myself implementing this, and down to 20 minutes. So the reason I share that and I say don't at me about it is like extrapolate 20 minutes times 9 because it was down 90%. Like that's how much time I was using my screen daily. Like each day, how much time I was wasting on my phone instead of doing the important things. And I've taken a step further too. Like I plug it in. It's a landline when my wife and kids are at home. Just making some changes like that. But that's the time on it, guys. Like that was it. I audited my time. I was like, I'm wasting it. And then I made changes. And I'm being very transparent with you guys. Like, I'm not perfect. This is what life looked like. This is what life looks like now. And you could do it. Yeah. So
I spend an ungodly amount of time on my phone and I hate it. But like I have to think in my head, is this productive?
Yep.
90% of the time, no, it's not, because I'm just mindlessly scrolling.
Yep.
And I have to consciously put my phone down, get back to work, do the things I know I have to do. And yeah, it's a hard one to do.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, that's the struggle of being your own boss. That's hard as hell. I didn't even realize, and that plays into the accountability. Like when you're employed by somebody, you have this like forever person looking over your shoulder, even when they're not there. Right.
Yeah.
And that keeps you off your phone. It keeps you on task. It keeps you working. But when you're your own boss, like who watches the watchman? Like who's going to make me be accountable to my job?
Yeah.
Nobody except me. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. That's it. What else you want to hammer on, dude? You got anything?
I like that. No, I like that. I'd like to see some more ideas of what people are going to start taking accountability for, looking for opportunities, growth.
Yeah, no judgment here, guys. Like we're not asking you to comment so we can grill you because you're trying to improve your life. We're here to help facilitate that growth. That's what this is all about, right?
I'll put it all out there. I'm trying to quit nicotine. I'm trying to make sure I'm in the gym 2 to 3 times or 1 to 2 times a day. I am holding myself accountable to that. I'm meal prepping. I'm drinking more water. I am determined to become the best version of myself before the end of the year.
Amen, dude.
Yeah. And then that's going to grow into the next year and the next and the next. But that is my driving force, because I can't do my job unless I'm at peak performance. And my job is to help you get to peak performance in your life.
Yeah, totally. Hey, if part of your program is a thing and you're not doing that thing, you shouldn't sell your program. Just
100%.
Just throwing that out there,
Like that is, and that's one of the best parts about the program is the community that we're building of men who are posting selfies at the gym, showing progress. They're holding each other accountable. They're holding me accountable. I'm holding them accountable. They're talking about goals. They're talking about business. They're talking about ways to make money. They're talking about ways to improve their relationship. It's that accountability.
Yeah.
If you don't have it in you to hold yourself accountable, I suggest you find a program like Dylan's or like mine that forces you to be accountable, because you won't have a choice. It's a group of people who actually respect each other enough to say, hey, you're fucking up. Let's get back on track.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like, for the record, I have a coach I work with that holds me accountable for things too. Like, I picked areas in my life that I want growth, that I was not seeing the growth that I wanted. And I found somebody that had it, like, that's truly it. It was like, I knew I needed something. So I went to get the thing that I wanted, because I wasn't able to do it on my own. It doesn't make you weak. Like,
no,
it means that I didn't have what I needed, and I knew someone else that did, and I was willing to go do the thing to get the thing, I think it's weird because the reason I bring it up is because, like, in a roundabout way, this is almost a talk of masculinity. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Where it's like, we feel disempowered if we go ask somebody for something, like that whole, quiet desperation kind of concept. It's like, when I first wanted to get sober, I damn sure wasn't going to ask anybody for help. That was not a thing. Like, I am not weak. I don't need someone's help. I will figure this out. I got myself in this mess. I'll dig out. And that wasn't the truth. In the end, I was not capable, So yeah.
Here,
what do you think?
Jess, I want to give Jess a pointer here.
Yeah, go ahead.
The health and nutrition thing she wants to grow in. Meal prep, 1 hour a day, Sundays, find an easy recipe. Like, for my breakfast, I do some hash browns, some eggs, and some sausage. Throw it into containers, throw it in the fridge. Every morning, that's what I eat. Same thing every morning. I'm not eating for it to taste good. I'm eating for results.
Amen.
Period. Like, that's what it is. And then, as far as the discipline thing, to hold yourself accountable, post right when you wake up every single day in your story on Snapchat, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, somewhere, to let everybody know you're going. You will get a following of people saying, hey, this is awesome, you're doing it. And then you feel accountable to those people. Like, right now, I feel accountable to people in my story who see me going to the gym every day, who see me doing these things, and they're like, I want this. For me, that's helping guide them in their life, just by me getting up and posting a quick 2-second photo. But I'm also getting up, I'm disciplined, I'm going to the gym.
Totally.
So try that out.
Totally. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Like, all we're really chasing is status. And I don't mean like money and fame. It can be anything that creates a perceived change in status in ourselves and from others viewing us, up or down, right? Like, we're just navigating status. Like, when you're young, your parents do it for you. They try to get you in the right schools, to get you the right education. They try to get you to be on the right team. They try to get you to do all these different things. And then we do it with ourselves later, right? So like, when we're doing that social accountability is the biggest factor in status change. Like, yes, we need to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and be happy with who we are. Otherwise, you have an inborn cognitive dissonance in, like, your own psyche, which is problematic. But barring that going on, man, we're honestly mostly doing the things we're doing to impress other people so that they see our status change. And going to the gym and showing other people that we're doing that inspires other people to make that same change in status, right? Like, that's what this is all about. It's like, dude, I don't post me lifting a lot of weights. I don't do anything like that. Even if I could, I can't really, by the way. I mean, I'm strong, but I'm not like a pro bodybuilder or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I post so that other people go like, I could do that too. I should
Mm-hmm.
do that too. Like it's there to inspire people like Ryan's talking, and then also inspires me because I'm like, damn, I have to keep doing this because there's people counting on me. There are
Yeah.
people counting on me to show up that every day I post on my story and I have one guy that always says something. Like at least
Yep.
this one guy for sure. There's other people, but this one guy for sure every day says something. So it's like if I don't show up, I just ruin that guy's day in a way. Like it's part of his
Mm-hmm.
routine. Like
Yeah.
talk to me in the morning about the thing. So yeah, man. I love that creating a community kind of deal.
Yeah. I think community is so important. Like it's
Yeah,
important for everybody. I want to make that clear. It's really important for men because most men don't have a community they can go to. And we talked about that. They don't think they have anywhere to go to. And you don't a lot of the times.
totally.
You are there to provide. You are there to do something. You don't have anywhere to turn. And when you don't have anywhere to turn, the downward spiral is real quick. So if I can create a community of men that you can turn to, 100% I'm going to do that. I'm
Yeah.
going to be that person who holds you accountable, but also gives you the love as a man that you need.
Totally. Hey, here it is. Proof's in the pudding. Jess just said, her running started because she saw me doing it and was
Yeah.
like, I want to do that again. I'm
Yeah.
not taking credit. Jess made that choice. Okay.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to illustrate that, yes, it's worth doing that. I love what you just said, because you're talking about how men don't have community. And there's so much to be said about that because it's like you do as boys because we share activities together. And still as boys, even in like adulthood, which is weird in American society. Like, I don't know what cultures you guys are all from, but like in American society, there's no like coming of age, true rite of passage. You're now a man type thing. Other than maybe getting married and having kids, and even then, I don't even know that counts. But the reason I'm like bringing that up is because if we don't share activities, we don't communicate, which means we don't have a community. You can't have community without communication. Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So as boys, older boys, as bachelor herds running around chasing females, we're still working together as a group. But once we found mates, that communication starts to dwindle and that community dissipates, right? Unless you have like once a year, you guys go hunting or whatever those things might be, but then it's only short lived. So there's no community. There's no, I don't know, lack of a better word, like incentive. Like there's no reason for me to reach out to my homeboys from back in the day. They're still my friends. I'd still do stuff for them if they needed it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need to reach out to them every day to see how they're doing or anything like that. And we don't because we're not hanging out.
Yeah. And part of it, for me anyways, I'm not going to hang out with people who just want to talk about the past.
Amen.
Or
amen, dude.
I am searching for people, for men who want to talk about growth, who want to talk about business, who want to talk about making money, who want to talk about getting bigger, healthier, stronger, better versions of themselves. That's what I want to talk about. I want to see growth in these people. And I want to create the community for that because that is what men need so much. They get so much from that. And without it, you're just kind of lost.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Iron sharpens iron, 100%.
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth, dude.
Yes.
I want to throw this up real quick too. She's in my sobriety survival Discord, so I kind of know what's going on. But yeah, I think women's communities are different. They like dudes will just stop talking to each other.
Yeah.
Like if you did, like I'll cut you out, man. I'll cut you out. Like you are now a threat to my security. You're gone. You don't belong, right?
It's
Women
the
will
I
keep them.
it's the yeah, it's the I love you, brother, but I'm gonna love you from a distance.
Totally. Women are like, I hate you, therefore I need to keep you closer so I can keep an eye on you. So it's a
Yeah.
really weird thing. Um, and I obviously I'm not speaking from personal experience, right? But observation and hearing women talk about that phenomenon.
Mhm.
Also reading
Yeah.
about it. I'm a communication major. We learned a little bit about gendered communication and that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, and sociology, all that great stuff. Anyways, I didn't want to leave the women in the room feeling like we don't care about them or their issues with community, because we do. But Ryan and I obviously have to speak from our experiences,
Yeah.
because we learned and earned this opportunity that we've seized right here.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to speak out of turn and try to tell women what their communities need to look like, right? Um, yeah, man.
But there
Go
are
ahead.
tons of communities out there. I know here in town there are multiple women who have their own communities. They do outdoor stuff. They go backpacking for the weekend. They do women's empowerment stuff, and they're all friends. They're out
Mhm.
there. You have to seek it out. Again, going back to that opportunity. You
Yep.
have to look for the opportunity and seek out the opportunity. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Opportunities everywhere, and if you don't look for it, you're going to miss it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Also, like this is going to sound really redundant, but you see the things you're focused on.
Yeah.
Like, and I
You
only
do.
say that because it's a truism that's really important and worth bringing up. Like, if you see lack of community, then you're never going to see community. You're never
No.
going to find the people you need to
Mhm.
connect with, because you've already decided that they don't exist, right?
Yeah.
You cannot see something you are not looking for, period. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually how hunting works. Those animals aren't seen by you because you don't know how to look for them or are not trying to look for them. They can hide, like
Yeah.
it's life. So same concept. Like, your best friend is hiding in plain sight. You just haven't opened your eyes to see them. Um,
Yeah.
that's just the way it goes.
100%.
Dude, I don't want to. we're like way long in the tooth on this episode, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's all right.
I do want to talk about some parenting and sobriety, though.
Let's hear it out.
Yeah, because we're talking about communities. Parents
Yeah.
are communities. It's a community of parents. I know some of the people in here are parents. I wanted to just address a couple things. Like, I don't know that it will contain gold nuggets. It will contain lessons, but I don't have here is this packaged lesson on how to be a parent in sobriety, because I don't think that's a thing. I want to
Yeah.
make that's probably the best way to like throw a header on this, is like, I don't think there's an answer, because to say there's an answer in how to be the best parent is to say that every child's the same. And if you have more than one child, or if you've observed children in general, as in more than one in any room, you are aware that they all have their own personality. We don't just get our personality when we become adults. We have them from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you this is what you need to do to parent your child. And anyone that does is probably a jackass and you shouldn't listen to them. But I want to talk about a comment I saw and then kind of get into like more stuff. Okay.
Okay.
I also want your take on the comment. Somebody told me that their drinking was because of their children. And I was not very stoked to read that, because first of all, you can't blame your drinking on anybody. I just want to make that very clear. We've been talking accountability. This plays in very well with the episode's theme so far today. You damn sure can't blame it on your kids. And the
No.
reason you can't blame it on your kids is because your children's attitude is a result of your attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
So you can't go, I'm drinking because my kid's an asshole, without saying I'm an asshole, therefore my kid's an asshole. Maybe I'm drinking because I'm an asshole, snake eating its tail whole, I'm an asshole because I'm drinking thing, right? You don't get to blame it on your kids, though.
No.
What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. You cannot blame your drinking or your addiction on your kids. You need to blame yourself. You were a weak leader.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. There you go.
You failed to lead the family. And
Yeah.
like it's the same in business. You couldn't say, oh, I drink because of my employees, or I'm failing because of my employees. No, you failed as an employer. You failed as a leader. Lead by example.
Totally. Yeah. If you want to blame your employees, you need to get new ones to make sure that that's actually the problem. Then you're going to find out that once you get new employees, you still have the same problem, because the problem's not your employees, the problem's you. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's the same thing. Like, get different kids, you're still going to be drinking. Like, you don't get to blame it on the kids, you know. Like, it just doesn't work that way. I think, like, what did Jen just say?
Like, there's an opportunity there too. There's an opportunity to connect with your kids,
dude. Yes.
Like, that's the opportunity. This is what I'm talking about. Opportunity, even in the negative. You have an opportunity to turn things around with kids. Connect with them, bond with them, show them what an actual leader looks like. Leaders aren't sitting around drunk, blaming their problems on other people.
No.
Leaders are standing up, taking accountability. They're focused on compromise and getting to a solution.
For the record, we're not talking elected officials here. We're talking actual leaders.
Yeah.
just so we're all on the same page here.
Family leaders. Family leaders.
I was just saying, because a lot of the things that you just said were describing elected officials, all the things not to do. I just had to be funny for a second. But no, I'm with you, because like, my son, I've taken the role of leader. And admittedly, I did not always do that. Fortunately, my kids were young enough that it hopefully did not have a significant impact on them. They were still formative, and I don't think I did anything destructive to those years. If they were older, a little older, definitely would have had an impact on them, you know, because I just wasn't there to be able to have the right kind of conversations, that kind of stuff. But now it's like, my son actually looks up to me, you know, like, he sees that I consistently go to the gym. I consistently go for a run. Like, I go for a run every Saturday and Sunday morning, period. I've been not having to, but I'm choosing to go a little later in the morning as the sun rises later, because I'm a wimp and I don't want to put a coat on. I don't. I want to run in my shirt, so I have to wait till the sun's up. Okay, like, that's it. So then my kids see it, and they, like clockwork, like, you're gonna go for a run. I come home, my youngest daughter, who's 2, so, oh, daddy, you go for a run? Like, yeah, you know, like, they see that, they'll model that. That's what we learn as kids, you know. So if you're blaming your kids for your drinking, what else are they modeling? Well, they're gonna learn blaming stuff on other people. They're gonna learn to not be accountable. They're gonna learn all of those things. What do you think?
They're gonna learn to be a weak individual.
Yeah, not to be super rude, but we're being rude. Sometimes you got to drop the hot take, right?
Like, if you are modeling weak behavior in your relationship and with your kids are going to turn out to be weak.
Yeah. Not trying to be rude here. Just stating facts, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't want weak children. Like, I'm not.
No, you want them to grow up to be self-sufficient, to take accountability for their actions, and to lead. There's not a better way to put it. You want your children to be leaders in life.
Yeah. And I kind of want to, like, draw, like, a little bit of a distinction here. Just so there's no, and maybe it's not necessary, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Do it.
I just don't want to have my message fall into the, like, super pro alpha crowd. Okay. Like, be alpha, fine, whatever, cool. I don't care. My thing is, like, when I'm saying modeling leadership behavior, I'm not saying, like, big flex, giga chad, that concept of leadership. The reason I want to make that very clear is because there's a very large trend in the space towards that. And
Yeah.
I'm actually not cool with that, because I do not think in a civilized society there's a whole lot of room for multiple people striving for the pinnacle alpha position without creating problems inside said society. Like, is
And
that fair?
but yeah, like in my course, you'll learn what a leader is. And a leader isn't somebody who is, it's my way or the highway. This is the way it goes, blah, blah, blah.
Totally.
It is, it's the man who facilitates compromise. It's the
Amen.
man who
Amen.
facilitates understanding. It's the man who is capable of setting boundaries, holding boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and remaining true to his character through
Totally.
thick and thin.
Totally.
That's a leader.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
placing blame, taking accountability, taking control of his confidence. That's a leader.
Dude, I'm with you. 100% behind you on that. My favorite word you used in all that is facilitate.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're not forcing, flexing, jamming stuff. That's not what you do in leadership. It just that doesn't work, you know, which can actually do a pretty good job taking us back to the parenting thing, because that's like the biggest hang up. Because we talked about, like, okay, first of all, you can't blame your kids for drinking.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a thing. Okay.
No.
So then let's talk about, like, if you weren't drinking anymore, then the other thing that people want to do is, like, blame their slip ups. They want to use their children as an excuse to go back to drinking. And that's the thing. That's a real thing. I actually hear it all the time. It's kind of gross. You know, this, like, mommy wine culture is founded upon that concept that taking care of your kids is so stressful. They're such a burden on you that you have to drink at the end of the night. And that's really disgusting.
I think the key there was burden.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's gross to me. If your kids are a burden to you, you probably shouldn't have had kids.
Amen, dude. Amen. And, like, also
like,
going back to
parenting
opportunities, bro. Like, you can learn so much from your kids. It's mind blowing. But so my thing is like, one of the biggest threats to my sobriety and most people's, and this is not even sobriety, man, it's threats to your life, is not being in control. Because we want routines, we want habits, we're looking for consistency. Anything that is not within our control is a threat to our comfortability and to the consistency we're looking for in life. And when I say comfortable, I want to make it clear I'm not saying comfort. I'm just saying known. It's not a variable. It's a known variable. It doesn't usually, like, become a curveball. But guess what kids do? They're constant curveballs. That's, like, what they do. They are trying to navigate life. They're trying to model behavior. They're trying to figure out what consistency looks like for them in a way that makes sense. They're trying to, we talked about status changes. They're trying to figure out how to navigate how they want to see themselves and how they want to have the world see themselves. Like, they're doing some heavy lifting that we already did once in life, but we weren't even aware of how heavy the lifting was. We were just in it. We watch it in our children, which then requires an extreme amount of patience as a parent, which, especially early in sobriety, is frequently lacking, you know? And that's where the excuse comes that it's their fault that I've slipped up, you know? And I don't like the excuse, but I want people to realize that, give themselves enough grace and their kids enough grace so that the relationship you have with another human being isn't your excuse to slowly end your life, because that's what you're doing when you're drinking. Is that fair? Is that poetic enough? You know?
Kids are sponges, and we know that. We try to protect them from outside influences, but I think people fail to protect their kids from the inside influences as well.
Well, because we don't see them. We're not.
Well, you haven't taken accountability for your own shit.
There you go.
So there is no inside influence when there is.
Yep. Yeah. If you're not being self-aware and being accountable of what kind of influence that you are on your children, then of course it's not your fault that your kids are a burden, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When it is like, it's so frustrating to me when I'm frustrated with my kids, because that it's just a big ass mirror standing in front of me and I have no one to blame but myself for the behavior. It's super frustrating to me because like, and then it makes punishing them difficult because sometimes like, man, my son one time, like real quick story time as quick as I can, got up early, busted out the tablet, got in my wife's purse. He would have been maybe 6, probably 5 at the time. Busts out her HSA card. Thank God it wasn't a real credit card. Gets a credit card out, gets the tablet out, signs up for an eBay account because he remembered one of our email addresses, does the whole thing, creates an eBay account, bids on some Legos, right? And my wife and I wake up, didn't even know he was up before us because he was all sneaky about it. And she has these emails and she's like, "Did you create an eBay account with my email?" And I'm like, "No." And we looked into it. He bid like thousands of dollars on an item that was like 3. But fortunately, I talked to him. Everything worked out. We didn't have to pay for anything. But it was like, how do I punish him? Because I was super proud. Like, he's able to navigate a thing that honestly like stumps some people, how to create accounts. Like, how do I do that? I don't know what to do. You know, he's 5, 6 years old doing this. I hemmed him up on the charges of stealing a credit card. You know, like that's what I got him for. Like, you don't use people's credit cards. But the ingenuity, like, I'm proud of that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the same way sometimes when your kid's misbehaving. It frustrates me to no end, but I'm like, damn, that's good, bad behavior. Really good, bad behavior that I don't want you to do, you know? That I taught you. I'm so mad at myself for teaching you, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's the ticket, man. Like, the best blanket lesson I could give you of parenting and sobriety is like, own your shit, good and bad, and you get to own the good. Like, you get to actually go like, Jesus, sorry. You get to go, because of who I am as a person, I was able to model that behavior to my kid, and my kid just did something I'm super proud of. But that also means you got to own it when it sucks, because you did it too. Like, sorry, folks.
Yeah, you got to take. Yeah, you have to take. Accountability for your actions when they're bad. Apologize, like even apologizing to your kids. Hey, dude, I acted out of pocket there. That's not how we treat people. I apologize. Like, that's probably going to be a real hard pill to swallow, but
it is.
You're modeling accountability to them to, in the future, when they treat someone poorly or they're a shithead, they say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have acted that way. That was wrong."
Totally. But that's it. I mean, that's honestly it. Like, yeah, apologizing to your kids does suck, for the record. But it's also very healthy. And if you do not apologize to your kids when you make mistakes, they will never apologize for theirs. Like, that's something you need to understand. Like, if you can do no wrong, you are modeling behavior. Like, my parents, one thing I don't do that they did was like, do as I say, don't as I do. Don't do as I say, not as I do thing. And I was like, wait, no, like, no, like, I let my kids swear. They don't even do it that often, but they're allowed to. And the reason that I let them is because I do. So like, how am I going to tell them, like, these are no words? I logically explained it to them. Like, hey, dude, if you say fuck and you're 5 and you're at your friend's house, your friend's parents are going to think that you suck, and they're going to think that I suck. And you're probably not going to hang out with them anymore. They're going to decide and judge based on the word that you use that you're not of good character. So don't do that until, I don't know, I guess maybe when you're older, like I am, people, they don't think I'm such a bad guy for using the F word. Maybe they do. I don't know. But he needs to navigate that later in life, not as a 5-year-old. You know, I warn him, like, if you do it at home, it's going to be really easy for you to do it at school, where you will get in trouble for doing that. You know, like, I'm not going to get mad at you, but your teachers will. There will be consequences, you know? So it's just a really interesting thing, but it's like, why am I going to punish them for doing something that I do? You know, like, I always think it's interesting. Like, some of the biggest drinkers in high school had parents that were big drinkers, and then they would get in trouble for drinking. Like, how does that? Oh, you're going to mince words about a number, a made up imaginary year that really doesn't indicate anything biologically or cognitively,
Yeah.
that's why they're in trouble because they weren't old enough. Like, come on. It's just weird, dude. So I don't know. I don't know what else to do with parenting and sobriety.
Yeah, they're,
What do you think?
man, I think it's a really good lesson. And I'm going to speak to the men here because that's typically who I work with. In the parenting situation, it is an opportunity to become a leader and to showcase leadership skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a chance to take accountability. It's a chance to practice all of these things and instill these values into your children while they're young.
Totally. So that they hopefully embody the values that you're instilling, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I do want to point one thing out a little bit, just like, because you're not the only influence on your children. So like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is like, dude, if you got a kid and like you're like, I cannot blame my parents for many of the choices that I made, right?
No.
Like there comes a point where your kid is making their own decisions and you cannot continue to hold yourself accountable for that. Like some of my behaviors, my parents did not model. Like that was things I had modeled in other areas from role models that were poor role models, right?
Yeah.
But when they're really young, yeah, dude, most of it's your fault. Like that's
well, there's like when you look at adolescent psychology, there's a time when there's a time when they look up to their parents and they model their parents' behavior. Then that shifts to their friends.
Yeah.
And they model their friends' behavior. So early on, you want them to model yours how you want, which will then guide their decisions when they start looking to their friends for support, which after that then becomes society.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 or 4 parts to it. You want to model these leadership skills that we talked about early on. And as they move through, those follow them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's exactly it. Like if you model the leadership in the first phase of development, when the influence is no longer you, the influence is their friends, hopefully they'll step up to be leaders in that situation so that they're not doing stupid shit, right? And then if that continues, they won't let society completely make decisions for them either, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some lines that you got to toe here and there along the way. There's no reason to get into that. But yeah, man, I like that. I think that's a good bow. What do you think?
Yeah, all of it together. It's just you becoming the best person you can possibly be, that's showcasing that to everyone else.
Yeah.
Other things will fall in line.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. Start with
Rise
you,
the
fix
tide.
you. Yeah, start with you, fix yourself. Other things will fall into line afterwards and become a lot easier.
Totally. I'm gonna throw this up real quick. I'm gonna take accountability for saying that, but she's responsible for sobriety. That's why I'm throwing that up. And that's why I told her, you know, like it's not, she's in one of my mentorship groups. It's like you can't blame anybody for your drinking at some point.
No.
Like ever, really. You have to stop doing it or you won't get sober and stay sober. Like that's you got to realize that if you blame someone for something, you've given them control. You have given them control of your life and your choices, which is not smart.
I just wrote a whole book chapter on asymmetry and dominance, and I can talk about that at a later time if we want. But essentially, everybody thinks that the dominant person is the person you can predict their behavior. That is not the case. The dominant person, so babies are an example. Babies are dominant in the relationship because you can predict parents' behavior based on what the baby is doing. They cry, they get fed, they get picked up. So it's the same thing. You have to put those things together.
Dude, I was just talking about this with my wife. Cats are the dominant species in your house if you have a cat. Because like they determine what the hell you're going to do. They decide when they get fed. Like they decide when they get fed because they won't leave you alone. Like all of these things. So then I was joking. I told my wife that crazy cat ladies would make the best damn parents there were, because they're taking care of a bunch of cats. They can take care of a bunch of kids, you know? I say that tongue in cheek, but I'm also not joking to a certain extent. Like, let those ladies adopt all the kids that need parents. Because they're doing it. They got the patience to deal with it.
Yes, they do.
So we'll end it on that joke. Real quick, if you want to get in touch with us, I guess we could throw the banner up and be cool, right?
Yeah.
Nope, not that one. Sorry. We can throw that one up. There we go. Contact DylanTheDoc.com.
Yeah. You want to get sober, stay sober, get a hold of Dylan ASAP. If you want to stop living a life of quiet desperation, get back your confidence and reshape your life, get a hold of me. I will make that happen for you.
Totally. And then also I want to point out, I told everybody that they could get a copy of the Sober Dads Playbook. I'm a man of my word. You can get an ebook of it. Go to SoberDadsPlaybook.com. I think it's actually that simple. Just SoberDadsPlaybook.com. There you go. It'll get sent to you via email. And then I also have some follow-up emails that help explain kind of how to use it, apply it to your life. So do the thing, get the stuff to do the thing to get sober. Those are all the things.
Message me before November 6th if you want to be a founding member in the program. After that, it shuts down and it will not be available to anybody.
Amen. Amen. Well, there's the things. We did the stuff that we said we'd do. We were here. We were accountable. Showed up. Did the show. Gave you the consistency you wanted. We'll see you at this same time next Wednesday at 12 Central. We're out of here.
Have a good week.